Hello and welcome to another episode of CSGO In Depth. Today we're going to be talking about the Glock-18, which is the only starting weapon for the terrorist side. It's a semi-automatic and burst-fire pistol that has 20 rounds in the magazine, along with 120 in reserve. This means that the amount of ammo per magazine is higher than any other starting pistol in the game. It is also the only pistol that can be switched between semi and burst-fire modes, which is actually pretty insane, a really cool statistic, really cool advantage that you have against some of the other starting pistols. Now, if you want to jump right into it, we can start with the fire rate, because the fire rate is interesting on this one because it does have two different firing modes. The first one, the semi-automatic, is that the Glock will fire at 400 rounds per minute in a semi-automatic, and if you use burst fire mode, it will fire at 1200 rounds per minute, which, doing simple math, can accrue to 3 rounds in burst fire. So you burst in and it shoots 3 shots, which is pretty normal. And the fact that it shoots 3 shots means that there is 6 bursts in one clip. Now, with a reload time of 2.2 seconds, it is standard for starting pistols, and it's nothing new. It's the same death and kill reward, which is $300 in competitive and $150 in casual, as any other starting pistol. And the thing about this is the fact that the Glock does cost $400 if you're gonna buy it, not, keep it from the start. Now, $400 is actually a lot of money for a pistol. And it's like the USPS, which is its counterpart, is only $150. It's crazy. It's an expensive pistol, and this means that if you're going to buy this weapon, you have to get 2 kills with it to make it worth your while. You have to make it pay for itself. You got to get 2 kills. So before we talk about damage, let's talk about the statistics that relate to it. So the penetration power on the Glock is 47%, which means you'll deal 47% through armor, and the range is 28 meters, which is about the distance between CT spawn and B doors on Dust 2. Now, the recoil is 22 out of 24, or 84%, which is actually really good. Not 84%, sorry, 94%, which is actually really good and not bad for a free weapon. Damage time, as usual, I'll be breaking down to armored and unarmored to avoid confusion. So, we're going to start with unarmored. If you're attacking an unarmored enemy, I'm sorry, I can't say that. If you're attacking an unarmored enemy, you will deal 111 to the head, 27 to the chest and arms, 34 to the stomach, and 21 to the legs. I'm sorry, I'm going really fast right now. But it's up in the top left of the screen there. This is a one-shot headshot, obviously, but besides that, you only need 3 shots to kill someone anywhere else if you're attacking an unarmored opponent. And the fact that you need 3 shots to kill anyone else is where the burst fire comes in. So if you are close enough, you can actually burst this and actually get a really quick kill with the Glock-18. Now, if you're attacking an armored enemy, you'll deal 52 to the head, 13 to the chest and arms, 16 to the stomach, and 21 to the legs. And I cannot stress how bad this gun is half the time. If your opponent has armor, it might be a good idea to use a different weapon, unless they have like 13 health, because this gun is absolute trash if someone has armor on. Like, it is horrible. Do not use this weapon past round like 2, because this gun sucks with armor. The burst fire on this weapon helps the viability on it, in all honesty, right? It lets you deal major damage in a short amount of time, which is unique for a starting pistol. Otherwise, the gun has a higher than average fire rate, and for a starting weapon, the recoil isn't that bad, as some make it out to be, right? People say that the recoil is really bad. It's actually not that bad, statistically speaking. All this tied to the fact that the magazine is exceptionally large for a pistol that has a price of a fairly decent amount. It's actually a fairly decent starting weapon. I'm sorry. It's a fairly decent starting weapon, and the disadvantages, however, include the low damage and limited range. And in long-range situations, you are not going to get anything done with this, right? It's not the gun's forte. Just don't engage them. Low armor penetration is a big deal, too, compared to other starting pistols. And they almost always do more penetration damage. And they'll almost always not match you, too. And the last disadvantage here is that there's such a steep damage drop-off, because it drops off like almost instantaneously after 28 meters. It doesn't gradually die off. It drops and you are doing no damage. Now, with that, I say thank you all for watching. I'm sorry it was such a rushed episode. I'm trying to get a whole lot of stuff done really quick. So I apologize for my fast talking. If you couldn't follow along, I apologize. But don't forget to comment and subscribe, because I am a growing channel. I really want to see what you guys think about this series. With that, my name has been Z-Star, and I'll see you guys in the next one.